Mr. B.
Yerrrr, it's the Social Millennial Podcast. We out here, gang. Y'all already know what it is. Thank y'all for pulling up. If this is y'all first time, what's up? Social Millennial Podcast. I'm Marcus Pena. This is a little kickback, little chill time that we have every week. You know, I talk about stories and items that interested me this week. You know, we could be talking about sports, TV, movies. We could be talking about news, politics, science, whatever. You feel me? Whatever, cuz it's whatever. But yeah, thank y'all for pulling up, newbies and veterans alike. If y'all are listening to this, there is a video component. We are on YouTube at Social Millennial Pod. Check that out. Put that in the search bar and you will find us. For those of y'all who are watching, what up? Thank y'all for enjoying my mug whenever you feel like it, at your earliest or at your most timeliest convenience. We are on audio, so if you click the link in the description. For socials, you will find some platforms there that you could just tap on or click on. As well, anybody who is listening, wherever you're at, you should be able to scroll down into the description and find a series of links that will point you to where you need to go. For those of y'all who are old school, you don't mess with the audio platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. There is a link down in the description labeled homepage. Sometimes you just got to click the word homepage. Sometimes there's going to be a link there that you can click on or tap on, and that will take you to a web browser landing page where you'll be able to listen to all of the audio content from the very beginning to now. The links for socials, etc., will all also be on that landing page too. So if you want to engage with us in other ways, you can head on over to social media. We are at Social Millennial Pod, at Social Millennial Pod, at Social Millennial Pod on Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok. Please integrate, please enjoy, please like, please follow, please comment, and please subscribe where applicable. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate all of the likes and all the love that you give us. Share the episodes. Let us know what you think of the episodes. I will be asking questions about what y'all think as we go. So where applicable, where possible, please sound off. You feel me? Now, if y'all want to contribute a little bit more than just likes, you know, contributing to the algorithm, want to show a little bit more love, want to maybe contribute to keeping this platform going for longer and keep this platform expanding and this show growing, because I do have plans. There are things coming down the pike. You can absolutely check in the description. There will be something there labeled merch. Click on that, buy some merch. We've got shirts, we've got phone cases, we've got pillows, we've got wall art. I mean, you name it, it's going to be there. We've got baby onesies. All right, y'all. So pull up, rock the logo. And hey, if you guys get something like a shirt, you guys get something with the logo on it, absolutely tag us on Instagram, tag us on Facebook. We will gladly feature you on our stories, feature you on our posts. Instagram is very, very active over there. So please head on over and enjoy the meme dumps, enjoy the reels, enjoy the remixes, enjoy the show clips. All right, y'all. And if you want to give even more, but you want some more content, we are on Patreon. All right, y'all. The Social Millennial Podcast is on Patreon. There is a link in the description to the bonus episode. So that's right. You heard it. We've got 2 episodes a week. This is the main free episode. Enjoy. Have at it. Definitely engage with us. But if you want a little bit more, head on over to that bonus episode link in the description, and you will be treated to what our memberships are. We've got a very, very cheap supporter membership that is just a few coins, a few dollars just to keep the platform going. You don't really get any extra content. If you hit the We Here tier, our second tier, you're locked in for the bonus episode. Over there, the bonus episodes, I get a little bit more personal. I talk about things that are a little bit more controversial than YouTube or these other platforms would like. The language gets a little bit more colorful. You feel me? I kind of just let my hair down over there. So absolutely head on over if you want some more of this show. There will be more under the Marcus Pena Presents umbrella, under the Marcus Pena Presents Media Group. All right, y'all. There's more shows coming, and if y'all want to expand this one and see the rest of what's going on and fast track that, absolutely contribute some dollars. These prices are absolutely dollars, single digits. We're not talking about anything double digits. Outside of maybe if you're buying the content on Patreon piecemeal. If you're on Apple, like iOS, the Apple Store, they're going to charge you extra because that's what the Apple Store does. They add a whole bunch of premium fees on there. Oh my Lord, it's definitely not what I set for the prices of the episodes individually. You are better off jumping on the memberships, the monthly memberships. They are very cheap, dollars. Nothing is double digits. And yeah, you guys can enjoy. All right. Thank y'all so much for pulling up. Let's get to it. We've got some New York stories today. Decidedly New York stuff going on. Decidedly New York things that I'm interested in. Yeah, we've got Palestine happening. And yeah, we've got Ukraine happening. And yeah, we've got the Trump trials happening. And yeah, we've got what else is super huge? Palestine, Israel. A meeting between Russia and China. We've got a bunch of really big stuff going on in the world, but you know, I feel like maybe we need a break and maybe we can sort of laugh at the shenanigans that are going on in New York City. All right, my fellow New Yorkers, this is where we're at. Let's go. All right, so I don't know if anybody remembers. Probably most of us native New Yorkers don't give a goddamn. But there was an art piece, an art installation in Manhattan that linked live linked Dublin. I'm assuming it's Ireland. Yeah, Dublin, Ireland to New York, to Manhattan. You looked through it. I think it was called The Portal. Excuse me. I think it was called The Portal. And you could see people on the other side and they could see you. And it was, I guess, meant to promote some kind of human unity. When I saw that thing unveiled, I already knew my nigga New Yorkers is going to get crazy. You don't just give New Yorkers a live feed into another city. And I mean, I expected it to get shut down, whether temporarily or permanently, because niggas is wildin'. Niggas be wildin'. It just is what it is. You feel me? So that's what this story is on, because what I thought was going to happen or would eventually happen because niggas is wildin' absolutely happened. This is New York. You can't be giving New Yorkers nice things, okay? Because they're going to mess it up. This is according to CNN Travel. Quote, inappropriate behavior shuts down Dublin to New York City portal. That didn't take long. Less than a week after two public sculptures featuring a live stream between Dublin, Ireland, and New York City debuted, quote, inappropriate behavior in real-time interactions between people in the two cities has prompted a temporary shutdown. The two sculptures, called, quote, the portals, are round lens-like installations with a 24/7 video link to allow residents and visitors in the two cities to interact with each other. Social media videos have shown people flashing body parts to people on the other side. The installation does not include audio. The creators of the sculptures are now, quote, investigating possible technical solutions to inappropriate behavior by a small minority of people in front of the portal, end quote, according to a statement from the Dublin City Council. Wow. From Dublin. Quote, Dublin City Council had hoped to have a solution in place today, but unfortunately, the preferred solution, which would have involved blurring, was not satisfactory. The city council said late Tuesday. The team behind the sculptures, portals.org, is looking at other options. What other options are you gonna, my nigga? What other options? You got to digitize it. You got to blur it out. What do you mean? It's gonna turn the feed off on one side automatically if it detects boobies? Like, what are y'all really gonna do here? The city council planned to switch off the live stream at 10 p.m. local time Tuesday and said that portals.org expected to be able to turn it on again later this week. Quote, we are delighted by how many people have been enjoying the portal since it was launched last week, the statement said. Quote, it has become a global phenomenon, and it is important to note that the overwhelming majority of people interacting with the Dublin portal have behaved appropriately. Organizers in New York also underlined that the inappropriate behavior has come from, quote, a very small minority of visitors. Yeah, that's called spin in the news. Nah, niggas. You know how many TikTok videos? If you just look up the portals, how many TikTok videos of people just flipping the bird to the people on the other side? I mean, families, children, just like not giving a goddamn. And these are grown people. This isn't like as the media would depict it, like hood dudes or whatever, like we're some kind of animals, which seems to be the theme. That people of color are some type of lower class animal or something. These were, you could see it on TikTok, these are like tie shirt and khaki wearing people that work around there. Just wild. Anyway, quote, in New York, we have had a set of protocols in place since the portal's launch, including 24/7 on-site security and barriers to prevent people from stepping onto the portal, said a statement from Flatiron Nomad Partnership, one of the project's organizers in New York. While the creators and their partners in both cities work on, quote, additional solutions to limit such behavior appearing on the live stream, the New York portal will be turned off for a few days starting at 5 p.m. local time Tuesday, according to Flatiron Nomad Partnership. On the Dublin side, the portal is installed facing the capital city's main street, O'Connell Street. In New York, the portal sculpture is located on the Flatiron South Public Plaza at Broadway, 5th Avenue and 23rd Street. So this is like, I think, by Washington Square Park? The portals are the brainchild of Lithuanian artist, Benediktas Gylis. The product's intention, according to Daithi de Royster, Dublin's Lord Mayor, was to expand global connections. Quote, one of the key aims as Lord Mayor is to make the city more inclusive. The Portals project embodies this, bringing together technology, engineering, and art to bring communities from across the world closer together and to allow people to meet and connect outside of their social circles and cultures, De Royster said in a news release on May 8th announcing the project's debut. The Lord Mayor noted the, quote, deep historical and cultural bond between the two cities. Now, we've got more stuff going on here, but they're just talking about backlog things. You know how these articles get in wanting to pad the runtime. But y'all, I remember why I was able to call this is because I remember being in high school. I remember being in junior high school. And if you gave us something like that was meant to be important, like in front of people, if you put a camera in our face, we're going to act a fool. We're going to act a fool for no reason. Absolutely no reason. You don't have to tell us to make fools of ourselves. We will absolutely do that and be silly and be dumb. Now, to me, personally, adults are just big kids. We're all just still the same children. We just look a little different. Our bodies grew bigger, and we are given more responsibility to take care of ourselves in terms of jobs and mobility, socioeconomic mobility. But we are the same people that we were in high school. We are generally the same people that we were in junior high school. So to give New Yorkers, adults, quote, adults, a sort of almost anonymous live stream, like you sponsor the live stream and people walking past can just interact with it, is asking for trouble. Like trouble in the highest degree. Is asking for booties to be out, is asking for boobies to be out, is just asking for middle fingers to get thrown up for no reason. Just because we don't like the art installation. I don't know. So I don't know why people thought, what humans thought that other humans were going to be like civilized. Like we're going to keep it together. New York is full of so many different kinds of people, so many different walks of life, so many different pairs of shoes to walk a mile in. You think that the majority is going to be cool with this? And that's why they put it where they put it, because they thought, oh, this was going to be the least egregious area. We're not going to put it where there are young people, like 14th Street, Union Square, or close to 42nd Street, or too close to 42nd Street, or by Bryant Park, like too close to Times Square. We're not going to do that. We're going to try to put it somewhere businessy, by a park. You know, it's close enough to East Side, 14th Street, but not really all the way. So we're going to put it here because we think that this is the best place to put it because there won't be as many hooligans that are going to misuse this beautiful opportunity. And still, because it's not about a certain skin color or a certain race or whatever. It's just about people. It's just about New Yorkers. Like it just is what it is. You're gonna get people that are just gonna be wild. They're gonna wild out. What do y'all guys think about this? Do y'all think that them saying that that the majority, or I should say that it was a minority of people that were behaving poorly? Do y'all believe that, or do y'all think it was a whole lot more? I think every single day that thing was up, people were wilding. There was enough people wilding every single day. That's what I think. That's my conjecture based on my experience here in New York City. Excuse me. Yeah. And then I forgot to address this. Should y'all hear a little bit more of an echo, it's because the room is slowly but surely emptying out. Some surprises. I know I've spoken about it over the past few episodes. So for those of y'all who are veterans, y'all already know what it is. For those of you who are not veterans, y'all gonna see. And I also forgot at the top of the episode, I should have said at the top of the episode, because mad people just view and click away. I'm going to put it on Instagram as well. Y'all need to go and jump on the Instagram. Because that's where I'm going to put out a lot of the APBs, a lot of the changes. Even on Facebook, I haven't been too good about voicing changes and upcoming things happening on the Facebook. I'm more good with the Instagram. So really get on that Instagram, because I will put it in the stories if we have if there's a week that we're going on hiatus or something, that there won't be an episode. I will absolutely announce it. I'm more confident to say that I will announce it on Instagram, on the stories. I might post it multiple times so that it'll be up for multiple days, so people will understand why there's not an episode. So absolutely, y'all, this coming week is not going to be an episode. Not an episode here, and not a bonus episode either. All right, I'm going to be getting some ducks in a row, and then the week after we're right back, same bat time, same bat channel. I should have said that in the beginning of the episode. My bad. I hope nobody misses it. But let's move on. Let me know what y'all think. Blow. We're here at Mayor Adams. This nigga. I mean, we thought we could not get a worse mayor after de Blasio. Somehow, it's almost like Eric Adams was on a mission to be worse than de Blasio. Wow, that's how it seems now. The corruption is crazy. Like, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop with these federal investigations. The corruption is wild, and the stuff that he's saying is wild. Let me just. Okay, this is according to NBC News. NYC Mayor Eric Adams proposes immigrants. That should have been a comma, I think. Proposes immigrants as solution to lifeguard shortage because they are, quote, excellent swimmers. So we got a twofer. We had Governor Hochul absolutely say the quiet part out loud and show what she thinks about people of color, that they're backwoods animals who can't understand what the word computer is, don't know what the word computer means, don't know what a computer is. In 2024, I mean, if this was 20 years ago, 25 years ago, maybe 30, the legislature would have been calling for her resignation as a governor for remarks like that. But here we are now, because I mean, and I don't like to say it, but it seems to be the truth. She is of the proper and or correct political persuasion that the pitchforks have not come out, because New York is, quote unquote, of the same political persuasion. It's no longer really about what your integrity is, what your morals are. It's no longer really about what your actions say about the content of your character. As long as you bat for the right team, we're going to protect you. We're going to keep you there, and we're going to make excuses for you. Because to say something like that black kids in the Bronx don't know what the word computer means is wild in 2024. It's wild. Anyway, we got a twofer. So we had Hacho last week say that craziness and give a one, it was like 3 words apology, which is wild. But now, quote unquote, Eric Adams, the only obstacle is that we won't give them the right to work to become a lifeguard. You see how they're reaching now? So he said something very much so like, what are you talking about? Very much so racially insensitive. Or something that has racially insensitive implications. And then also trying to shoehorn in, let's give them the ability to work. Because, if we can give them the ability to work, we can figure out how to get them to vote. They're going to have an ID. So watch. New York Mayor Eric Adams suggested immigrants as a possible solution to the city's lifeguard shortage because, he said, they are, quote, excellent swimmers. That's wild. Like, you couldn't even write this. Like, this is like an episode of Arrested Development, Curb Your Enthusiasm, SNL. Like, what? Adams was asked at a briefing Tuesday whether lifeguard staffing at the city's pools and beaches would be an issue as Memorial Day approaches. He responded by asking the reporter to imagine that the city could expedite work licenses for migrants and asylum seekers for jobs that are in high demand. Wild. He goes, quote, how do we have, is this him? Yeah, quote, how do we have a large body of people that are in our city and country that are excellent swimmers, and at the same time we need lifeguards, and the only obstacle is that we won't give them the right to work to become a lifeguard? ? That's not the only obstacle. It's not that we won't. It's that legally we should not. Legally, there's no grounds for it. Legally, we can't. Legally, they are here unlawfully. So talk about like minimizing the situation, trivializing the situation. Oh, it's just they're here. You might as well. That's the only obstacle is that we don't want to. Really? Because you've got to go through all kinds of legislative bodies to be able to get something on the books to be able to give these people some type of work visa. So it's not the only obstacle. It really isn't. It's really being minimalistic here. It's really being simplistic of the issues here, which is wild that he would even minimize it and be simplistic about it. When they were coming, he wanted to be so non-simplistic. He wanted to be these are people and these are this and they are, but these are people with lives and seeking asylum and we have to this and we have to that and this is a nuanced situation. Like, now, where's all that nuance now? Because you want there's an agenda that you have that you're trying to push. So the quote unquote nuance is lost on you all of a sudden, Eric Adams. Very interesting. The city's deputy mayor for Health and Human Services, Ann Williams Ism, said there are more than 197,100 migrants in New York City and 50,000 applications for asylum. So you see what I'm saying here? I said this a few episodes ago. They're here, but they're not applying for asylum to go through the system, even though they're already here. Things would be different if it was all 197,000, or I should say all 197,000 adults, or of the 197,100 migrants, the adults are all thinged for applications, for asylum applications. That would be different. Everybody's trying to go through the system. Let's expedite their paperwork for that. Not the case. The same thing happened too for like a work order to be able to get a work visa or whatever. Out of all of the 100,000, it was only like 800 or something that applied for it, and none of the 800 got it, which tells you something. All right. So Adams said, so we all have, quote, so we have all these eligible people waiting to work with the skills we need to fill the jobs, but we're unable to allow them to work because bureaucracy is in the way. That just does not make sense. Really? Bureaucracy now? We're simplifying our processes of protecting this country Our processes of making sure that those who come from outside of this country are vetted and are properly documented, for the protection of them and for the protection of the citizens here, of the citizenry around here. They're the people who will become their brethren. We're gonna minimize that to bureaucracy. Oh, it's just bureaucracy. We need to do away with it. Really? I mean, if y'all don't see the agenda at this point, and I'm not even talking about a red hat. I'm not even talking like I'm a red hat wearing MAGA. I'm just saying it's very plain. They're saying the quiet parts out loud. They're showing you what they stand for and what their goals and they're showing you what the agenda is, what the playbook is, the directions that they're following and the directives that they're executing. I'm about to get off this. All right, there isn't too much more about this. Adams also referred to other in-demand professions, including food service work and nursing, that migrants could be fast-tracked to work in. The mayor's office said by email Tuesday night that Adams has been touting immigrants as a potential solution to the city's labor needs for several months. Quote, Mayor Adams has been clear that there is nothing more un-American than not allowing someone to work. You see the slogans that they're using to try to guilt you? As if Adams is a patriot. Okay. Anyone who is trying to make more out of the mayor continuing to make that point today is missing the forest for the trees. My nigga, you know how many jobs how many people out here don't have jobs? You know how many people out here were fired from their jobs because of the COVID vaccine? And you know how many lawsuits are happening right now for people trying to get their job back? Because it was actually found that it was unconstitutional that these companies let go of people because they were not vaccinated. It's just trivialization. They trivialize the information that doesn't benefit their agenda. They make it small. And sometimes they'll just flat out lie to you. What do y'all think? Because I think this is trash. I think yes, this dude accepted these migrants. I think the solution has to be whomever has applied for asylum. If they're going to be in this country, either you have them stay here or you send them back over the border and reinstate the stay in Mexico policy. And then everybody else who's here that's undocumented, that we know where they're at, and they have not applied for asylum by now, send them back wholesale. Because if you're coming to this country trying to make a better life for yourself, you're going to want to integrate. You're going to want to lock in with the society that you're in so that you can move around. And if you're here now not doing that, how much time we got? Okay, good. And if you're here now not doing that and just here reaping benefits, you're a heavy weight to drain on the system. Now, I say that in its own little compartment because we already know what my political theory is about this. And how they're going to try to weaponize this illegal immigrant population to vote or to manipulate the votes for the upcoming election. And the longer game is electoral college votes. So that we change the makeup of the House based off of this new influx population into the sanctuary cities, which happen to be in Democratic run states, Democrat cities, these sanctuary cities. So that quote unquote the Dems can get more seats in the House / Senate, and then have more control. It's about control. But what do y'all think? Because that's what I think. I think that's what should be done. Don't make them lifeguards. Please don't put other people's lives in their hands. Not because I don't think that there are not altruistic people amongst them, because they're Latino, they are African, they are European. There's all kinds of different immigrants pulled into there. It's not just border. It's not just that. Excuse me, but not lifeguards. Don't put American citizens' lives wholesale, writ large, in the hands of people who came from another country who aren't even applying and who aren't applying themselves, who aren't even applying to be part of our society and integrate into our society. Let's not do that. I think that's a slippery slope. What do y'all think, though? Let me know. All right, next one. I might just do 3. How much time we got? Okay. Yeah, I might just do one. Let me see. Which one am I going to do here? I've got 2 other stories. Oh, this is a good one. All right. So if I'm not mistaken, it was a bunch of episodes ago, maybe 7, something like that, where I talked about, or where it was announced that a huge bust happened. Multi-arrests, multiple departments, Postal Service, NYCHA, was a whole thing of money sort of exchanging, lining pockets, etc., etc., etc. Huge bust. And the dude, I think it was the United States Department of Justice guy, had his whole press conference and was like, we're not going to stop here. NYCHA is going to have to answer for what it's done. And we're not going to stop until it does. They're starting to plea. A lot of people pleading guilty in this, like just up front. And it makes sense to me because you don't want this to go to trial. That means that they must have these people dead to rights, or have at least convinced them that they've got them dead to rights. Let's read. This is according to the city.nyc. Dozens of NYCHA staff have pleaded guilty to bribery in micro contract scheme. Waves of guilty pleas has begun after a February U.S. Department of Justice takedown charged 70 current and former employees with pocketing bribes to award no-bid contracts to favored vendors. Let me tell you this, because I think it was the episode before last. Remember I was telling y'all my theory. The other shoe is probably going to drop with Eric Adams in these federal investigations, and how he's been giving all of these no-bid contracts for all of these nonsense projects, and not one of them ever comes into actual fruition to get funded continually for a long-term contract. He did the instead of doing the boots, he did the pilot program for the windshield cover for tickets and illegal parking. He did the pilot program. They did the pilot program, or the city funded the pilot program for the robot for the NYPD. That didn't go too well. Recently, he had the pilot program he had a private company come and do Amazon Go style boxes for neighborhoods for the mail, so that they can combat mail theft in Queens. There was the security that's ongoing, that's been ongoing at the various hotels that they repurposed into shelters for the migrants. There's the outdoor dumpster boxes that he talked about, pilot program that they put money into. All of these things went nowhere. The security guards are making hundreds of dollars an hour because all of these are no bid contracts. And I'm thinking, for someone to have a track record of doing so many no bid contracts and all of them not being brought on as for long-term contracts, that's a problem to me. That's a red flag. You got 4 or 5 things going and none of them happened. And you did a no bid for it. Because generally when you do a contract bid, you're gonna the goal is to drive down the price as much as possible. Especially for the security, they definitely could have. It qualified to become a no bid. There are certain qualifications in terms of costs to do no bid. I mean, to have a bid for the contract. But yeah, so I think the shoe's going to drop. I think there's some money padding, some lining somebody's pockets off of these no bid contracts. But so I bring this up because that's the same thing that was happening here, or at least one of the things that was happening with this case within NYCHA. So check it. So we're part of this is also getting down to the bottom of why the NYCHA buildings have not been maintained properly when NYCHA gets funded, if I'm not mistaken, by the state government and from some federal monies too. So they're collecting money, and a lot of those developments, they're collecting rents, but they have gone dilapidated and unmaintained for the past 30 years, probably a little bit longer than that. I've been in those buildings. They're absolutely not well maintained at all. Absolutely not. So we're getting to the bottom of now as well, where all of that money went. Where's the money going? Millions and billions and billions of dollars over years, because it's clearly not being poured into the properties. So here we go. More than 24 current New York City Housing Authority employees have pleaded guilty to a variety of bribery charges as part of a long-standing scheme related to so-called micro-purchase contracts, say federal prosecutors with the Southern District of New York. In February, 70 development-level NYCHA superintendents and assistant superintendents, 55 current and 15 former, were arrested in the biggest one-day takedown in U.S. Department of Justice history. As of Tuesday, the 27th, as of Tuesday, 27 of the current workers had pleaded guilty. Although the impact of the first wave of admissions of guilt on NYCHA's operations remains unclear. NYCHA officials said the plea agreements required the employees to resign. 42 other cases are pending. Still a whole bunch. Quote, NYCHA cannot comment on plea agreements between the arrested employees and SDNY as NYCHA is not a party to those agreements, said NYCHA spokesperson Barbara Brancaccio. However, NYCHA has backfilled all positions to ensure a smooth transition with no impact on services provided to residents. Yeah, okay. No impact on services. NYCHA has had no impact on services to residents for the past 40 years. NYCHA employed micro contracts in an attempt to attack a long-standing backlog of repair requests by tenants. The pressure to address those requests remain intact. The number of open tenant-initiated repair requests at the end of April was 607,000, down slightly from 659,000 at the end of April 2023. The average time to complete a repair has risen slightly from 358 in April 2023 to 371 last month. Prosecutors alleged that the indicted NYCHA staffers had for years pocketed a total of $2 million in bribes in exchange for awarding $13 million in smaller contracts to a favored group of contractors performing repairs on NYCHA buildings, according to indictments announced by Manhattan U.S. District Attorney Damian Williams. The employees had the power to hand out smaller micro-purchase contracts of $5,000 and then $10,000 after 2019 that fell below the amounts that trigger competitive bidding, a protocol that requires authorities to seek bids from multiple vendors and pick the lowest responsible offer. For years and across nearly 100 of the authority's 320 developments citywide, contractors paid bribes, often based on a percentage of the contract's worth, to win these small contracts to repair the authority's aging buildings. With almost no oversight, NYCHA bureaucrats were able to award these corrupt vendors for jobs such as plastering, plumbing, and painting multiple $5,000 contracts over short time periods, effectively paying them amounts that would normally trigger competitive bidding requirements. The subject of NYCHA's reliance on micro contracts surfaced last week in public remarks by Jocelyn Strauber, Commissioner of the Department of Investigation, which conducted the investigation that led to the indictments. Strauber has recommended that NYCHA take responsibility for awarding the smaller contracts away from development level managers and place it with a central office unit where oversight would be easier to perform. She noted that NYCHA, after rejecting a similar suggestion 2 years ago, is now on board to institute this reform. Because the higher-ups got insulated from the bribery allegations. Notice that. The higher-ups are not getting investigated. So the higher-ups are allowed to keep their job. So the idea is you get to keep your job and getting to make your money, but you got to do this. Back in the day, they said, nah, we're not doing that. We got this. So that our pockets can continue to be lined with cash. Now that our cash cow and our scheme has been found out, yeah, sure, we'll do it. We'll create another office that handles the oversight of these things. Absolutely. Even though 2 years ago they were like, absolutely not. Interesting how the cookie crumbles. And she noted that DOI is considering looking into the Department of Investigation. Is considering looking into the use of these no-bid smaller contract awards at other city agencies. So remember, I told you this is bigger. This is just the beginning. Quote, it is something we would like to do, she said, noting the agency's limited resources. Mayor Eric Adams' most recent budget includes a 20% cut for Department of Investigation over the last fiscal year's budget, which is wild because now we have all this stuff happening here and you're going to cut them. Wild. So what do y'all think here? I mean, I'm kind of hype, or I'm kind of glad because, people shouldn't be living in the conditions that are going on in a lot of those NYCHA buildings. They really shouldn't. Not when the amount of money that flows through NYCHA is what it is. I think it's a travesty. Doesn't mean that I don't think that everyone at the NYCHA organization or that work for the sub offices for each of the buildings, that they're all involved in it. I don't think so. I'm not saying that, but enough influential people within NYCHA dealing with these buildings were involved in it that we had 70 people arrested and none of the higher ups arrested, which to me is very strange because you want to go all the way to the top because it wouldn't make sense on the books. Like, it would make sense if you look at the books and see what the heck is going on. Where's the money going? Because it's not going to what it's supposed to be. If we go to the place that they were supposed to fix, they did not fix it, or they didn't do it all the way. So to me, I feel like the higher ups, this isn't enough. The higher ups need to be held accountable. We need to pull in higher ups from previous years. Heads got to roll. Jail time has to happen. You have these people living in damn near squalor in these apartments. And it shouldn't be so. Not in 2024, not in 2015, not never. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, where applicable, where possible. And I think that will conclude this episode of the Social Media Podcast. Thank y'all so much for pulling up. I had another story, but I don't want to belabor the point too much. Another New York story. Thank y'all so much. I might not do whoever got this far in the episode. Thank you so much for watching all the way to this point. I'm going to let y'all know now, I may not be doing a bonus episode for this week because of the transitions that we have going on right now. We will come back the week after. So that means this week is no bonus episode. Next week is no bonus episode, but there will be a bonus episode the week after that. We will be right back on it. Serious as a heart attack. We here with it. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for pulling up. I really do appreciate it. Again, clock in, tap in to that Instagram, tap into TikTok, tap into Facebook, tap into the Patreon, tap into the merch store, tap into the homepage, and enjoy this podcast wherever it's easiest for you. We're on Spotify Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, etc. Thank y'all so much. And I hope y'all have a great week. Stay strong. A lot is going on in this world, but we'll make it. All right. We made it through a whole lot already. We can make it through a whole lot more. All right, y'all. I will see y'all in a week, in 2 weeks, I guess. I don't know how to count it. Sometimes I count it weird. So maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. Not this coming week, but the week after. All right, y'all. Deuces.